What's up? What's up? We'll let a couple people get in. Let a couple people hop in here. See if I can set my camera up correctly or not. Let's see if I can get this correct. Got a phone where I can finally go live on. So that's always good. But let me talk about something real quick. YouTube is pissing me off, okay? I've been seeing a lot of people on YouTube. There's a guy out there, Jimmy Darts. There's a guy, Just Nate, I think is his name. And what they're doing is cool. They go out and they give back to the community and all that fun stuff, you know? Which is cool. You should go and give back to the community if you're able to do so. I think that's fantastic. But I do have a couple questions on why they do things the way they do. Certain things don't make sense to me. Certain aspects of it just don't make any sense to me. And I just don't get it personally. So what these guys do is they'll get into a car, usually by themselves. Sometimes they have a guy recording them. And they'll go up to a person and they'll say, "Hey, how come you're on the street? Let me hear from you and you can tell me your life story." And then it's usually a homeless person or somebody selling something on the side of the road. And they'll say, you know, I unfortunately succumbed to some type of addiction in life, whether it's drugs or alcohol or both, usually both. And they tell their whole life story. Then these guys will put their life story on YouTube and donations will start coming in. More often than not, they will run some type of usually some type of a GoFundMe page for these people, which is great. I think that's phenomenal. A lot of times these guys get 5 or 10 grand donated to them, which is great. But what the hell is 5 or 10 grand really gonna do for these people? I would say 85% of the time I see it where they walk up to a homeless guy on the street and they say, "I just want to bless you with $500 today." $500 is gonna get them 1 or 2 nights in a motel room and enough money to get high off. What's that gonna do, bro? You're gonna give this man $500 and then he's gonna be in a motel room for a day or two while he's getting high or drunk or both. Then he's gonna be right back on the street. Doesn't really make much sense to me, personally. But I think if these guys, let's say the top 5 biggest creators, okay, that do this, that go around trying to help the homeless, well, what if they got together and bought some type of property? There's abandoned motels and hotels out there where they could house hundreds of homeless people. A hotel or a motel that's currently abandoned, you could probably get for close to nothing if you were to approach that town and say, "Who's the owner of this property?" You could easily get in contact with the owner, and for $5,000 or $10,000 a month, you could run this place in regards to the rent. Maybe another $10,000 in bills. Let's call it 25 grand a month. You could run this place and have hundreds of people off the street. Nobody does that though. Now I'm going to tell you why. So what you guys don't realize is they have a YouTube channel, they have a TikTok account, they have a Facebook platform, they have Instagram. All of these are revenue generators for these guys, okay? When they approach a homeless man and they give him $100, let's say he approaches, you see Jimmy Darts go up to a guy with 5 $20 bills. He hands him a note that says, please don't give up on life and you're worth it. And then there's $100 in there. Jimmy Darts gets that video, he puts it on TikTok, he puts it on Facebook, he puts it on Instagram, he puts it on YouTube. A culmination of 10 million views come in. Now he just made $12,500 off that content. Why aren't these guys taking the income that they're making from these platforms and doing something big with it on a big scale? I see that these guys are quick to give out socks. They're quick to give out blankets. They're quick to fill up your gas tank. Okay? All that's doing for them is getting eyes, people like me and you, to watch this. Okay? That's all it's doing. They're getting views, they're getting clicks. Those views and those people, since it's a great thing that they're watching, they're going to share it. And they're going to get even more views and more clicks, which in turn leads to getting more of an income each month from their YouTube, from their TikTok, from their Patreons, their Facebook accounts, their Instagram lives. And I know there's platforms that I'm forgetting. They're going to take these videos and they're going to break them down into small clips, and those small clips are going to generate income. And these guys are getting huge money every month. They have millions of subscribers and they're getting huge money, and they're doing shit for people. If you walk up to a homeless guy and you give that homeless man $100, he's going to maybe get a motel for a night, and he's going to maybe be drunk and high for that night. Then he's going to wake up in the same position that he was. It's fucking stupid, bro. These guys are fucking stupid. I get it. They want to make money themselves. I get that, okay? They want to make money themselves because they're creating content for people like you and me to watch. And yeah, content creators should get paid for shit like that, but it's fucking stupid to walk up to a homeless man, give him $100, and then you make $10,500 off that video. You're in a hole, you're doing absolutely nothing. Even if you walk up and you give him $250 or $500, he's going to have a hotel and get off the street for a day or two, and he's going to get high and drunk for a day or two, and then go back to having absolutely nothing and be in a worse mental state than what he was if he just never got the money. These guys should be coming together and saying, okay, I'm a content creator. I make a bunch of content in regards to homeless people and helping the community. And what these guys are doing in all actuality is just robbing the shit out of you guys. You guys are getting robbed, bro. And you don't even notice it. You think that Jimmy Darts goes up to homeless guys, hands them $100, hands them a new blanket, some pocket warmers. Then he gets 10 million views off that video on Facebook. He gets 11 million views on TikTok. He gets 4.5 million views on his YouTube channel. And culmination, let's say he hands a guy $500. That month from that content of handing that guy $500, he's going to make at least $15,000 on that content. Okay? And it makes no sense that these guys aren't going up to somebody and saying, I noticed there's 14 abandoned motels and hotels in this city. You could house hundreds of homeless people. You could be housing hundreds of homeless people and helping hundreds of homeless people. But what do? They give out a full tank of gas, $100, sometimes more, or some hand warmers, a jacket, a couple bottles of water, and maybe a slice of pizza and a hot dog. And people say to themselves, wow, this guy is really helping the community. Well, I'll tell you something. I could wake up every single day of my life and take $100 out of my bank account, find a hot dog vendor, get 20 hot dogs for $100, videotape myself going up to 20 different homeless people saying, here's a hot dog, here's a hot dog, here's a hot dog, here's a hot dog, 20 separate times. I could make that content into 20 videos, break those videos down into 20 more videos. Now I have 400 videos and clips that are going to garner millions of views. And I'm going to get hundreds of thousands of dollars at the end of the year for doing that. And every day, I only spent $100 on helping homeless people. Where's all their money going? Where's the end game in all this? Yeah, it's real nice to do to go up to a homeless guy and say, here's 500 bucks. That's really nice of you, but all you're doing is getting him drunk or high for a couple days. Makes no sense to me. And these guys like B.I. Facati and Jimmy Darts and this Nate guy, makes absolutely no sense to me that they're not actually looking for the greater good in things and looking at the big picture. There's a dozen abandoned motels and hotels in Chicago, maybe 24, and you're not ever trying to or even attempting to buy one of these establishments and put hundreds of homeless people in them. Hundreds. It makes no sense to me. Absolutely. It does make a lot of sense. They're gonna pocket $1 million this year because every day they went out and gave some homeless people some hot dogs and maybe some hand warmers and maybe, if they're lucky, some pocket money. What does that do for them? It gets them high and it gets them drunk. It doesn't give them housing. It doesn't give them security of any kind. It doesn't put a roof over their head. They're not getting these people employed. They're not getting these people's lives structured. They're not putting these people in types of rehab. No rehabilitation. I've never seen Jimmy Darts or this Nate guy walk up to a homeless man, give him $100, hear their life story, and then say, hey, what are we going to do to change your environment, and what are we going to do to change your overall situation to better yourself forever? I've never seen them do that. I've seen them give them a blanket and a bottle of water, and maybe they'll fill up their gas tank. But I've never seen them go up to a real estate agent and say, hey, I make $150,000 every month because I hand out $100 a day worth of hot dogs to homeless people. So let's take this $150,000 and actually do something with it. Let me get a motel. Now I got 250 rooms. 250 families can be safe, secure, warm, have running water, heat, electricity, safety, a roof over their head, somewhat normalcy, and nobody does that though. But so many people are quick to share, like, comment, subscribe. Oh my God, did you see this guy walk up to a hot dog vendor? He bought 100 hot dogs for $300 and he gave out 100 hot dogs. Well, he just did that and pocketed 25 grand between his TikTok, his Instagram, his Twitter, his Facebook, his YouTube platform. Yeah, I will do that right now. I can go 15 minutes down the street into the south end of Springfield. Okay, I live in Massachusetts. I'm less than 15 minutes away from the south end of Springfield. And hundreds, if not thousands, of homeless people there. Every day of my life, I could take $100 and get 20 hot dogs and pass these fucking 20 hot dogs out, have 20 individual videos every single day in on my Twitter, on my Instagram, on my Facebook, on my YouTube, on my Patreon. I can make video after video and get all this income generated. And that's what these guys do. It looks really nice to fill up a gas tank, hand somebody a blanket, and give them a cheeseburger. But guess what? All these guys, every single one of them, on the back end every month, they're getting hundreds of thousands of dollars from these platforms because they're so generous to the homeless. They will never walk up to a real estate agent and say, I know there's 15 abandoned hotels in this city, and I want to buy just one. They'll never do it. And it's fucking ridiculous to me that, like, what are they doing with all this money? What are they doing with it? I've seen what they do with it. They put it in their pocket so they can drive nice cars, have a nice house with a nice girlfriend, go home at the end of the day, sit in a hot tub, light a cigar, have a maid, have a car service for themselves, maybe start themselves up a nice business and live lavishly. Do you really think you're going to see these guys in 5 or 10 years doing this? No, they're going to make their money and they're going to get out. It's ridiculous to me. All these videos of people Oh, I bought 15 hot dogs and I handed them out. Big fucking deal, bro. Do something for the community if you're going to do something for the community. Stop trying to get hype off of this bullshit with filling up gas tanks and giving people hand warmers and blankets and shit. It's fucking ridiculous. It's sad that people see those videos and they're like, oh my God, this guy's pretty much a god amongst men. He just bought fucking 25 hot dogs and handed them out to the homeless. Yeah, he made $175,000 on his YouTube, $15,000 on his TikTok, another $38,000 on his Instagrams. His Patreon account's getting $57,000. So he's getting $300,000 plus a month doing it. I would wake up every day too and make a couple videos where I spend $100 on hot dogs to hand homeless people. Maybe that's what I should do. Excuse me for smoking, but I just get stressed out about this shit. People are blind to it. So blind to it. It's really sad. Like, it really is that people don't see that. These people have never approached somebody and said, let me hear your life story. Okay, now let me help fix this situation. Let's get you into a rehabilitation center. Have you ever heard that come out of any of these guys' mouths? No. They'll give you a hot dog and a blanket. Yeah. You'll get a hot dog and you'll get a blanket. And that's it. That's all you're going to get. I see it every day. These fucking things come across my feed on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, on YouTube. Every platform. They get a homeless guy a meal and a blanket. They put that up. They spent $5 or $10 on a meal and a blanket. They're going to get tens of millions of views from that, make $10,000 or $20,000 from that specific interaction with that homeless person. And what are they going to do with that money? They're not giving it back to the homeless. They're not going around to real estate agents saying, what are we going to do with all these abandoned motels and hotels that could have running water and electricity? At the very least, you could have a hotel with running water and electricity and have hundreds of homeless people off the street and have families that would actually thrive, survive, and maybe actually become something of themselves eventually, because they would have some source of stability. Giving them a hot dog and filling up their gas tank and giving them some hand warmers, a bottle of water, and a blanket, what is that doing for them? Even if you give them 500, what is that doing for them? They're going to get high and drunk and maybe have a hotel room for a night or two. And then you're going to take the money you get off of that video, which is going to be more than every video they make where they hand a hot dog. They're going to get more than 10 grand in revenue from that between all their platforms. What do they do with that 10 grand off every video that they get? They're just waking up and spending another fucking 100 to 1,000 a day to make these homeless, I'm helping homeless people shenanigans. And it's fucking ridiculous that people subscribe to these guys. It's just robbery. They're using the homeless in order to have a great income for themselves. It's literal robbery. It's like they're going up to these people and robbing them, and they have like millions of subscribers, millions of comments and shares, and it's like people don't realize that what they're really doing is just getting rich off the homeless, and they're not helping anybody. They have never put somebody in rehab. They have never got somebody an actual home. You walk up to a homeless guy, and if you even have a GoFundMe, I've seen people do the GoFundMes. One guy got 8 grand. Okay, so what can he do with that 8 grand? Can you even get first, last, and security these days with 8 grand? I mean, what the fuck? Really pisses me off, these fucking YouTubers that do that homeless bullshit with the homeless people. Excuse me. It's just pathetic. It's stupid. And it's sad that people don't realize that. I'm about to get off of here. Thanks for that. I think we got one person in here, but hey, it is what it is. This is the first time I've ever gone live, ever, because I actually feel some type of way about this topic. And I just think it's really, really, really fucked up that these guys have a platform where they're getting hundreds of thousands of dollars every month in profit for their own pocket. And they wake up every day and they spend $100 on fucking hot dogs and bologna sandwiches. If you're gonna help people, help people. But I'm out, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. That's just my truth. That's just how I feel. And I don't even know how to get off of live. Let me see. Oh, okay. I see. But in my opinion, they could be doing and should be doing a lot more. Don't see a homeless guy walk up to him with a phone in his face or a GoPro on your forehead and give him a blanket and a hot dog. Then you get 10 million views on 5 different platforms. You got 50 million views now because of it. You're gonna make $15,000 to $25,000 because you gave some guy a hot dog. And you go live a great life. You have a car. You have food in your stomach every day. You probably have a maid. You probably have a guy that cuts your grass for you. And what are these guys really getting? A fucking hot dog and a bologna sandwich and a hand warmer. Maybe a bottle of water and some gas. I'm out. That's the end of the rant for today.